time to time, airlines offer us free flights to make videos about their onboard product. And they'll always get the same reply from us: we won't make a promo video for you. We'll say what we want, and only do so if you give us average seats, let us try your economy class product as well and not just the fancy stuff, and you can tell the crew so they won't treat us differently. And Astana, having confidence in their product, agreed. So naturally, I tried to come up with an itinerary that would give you as thorough a look at the company as possible, and I'm pretty happy with the result. We'll split up the journey into 2 massive videos covering 3 flights each, starting today with a long-haul flight in economy class aboard the airline's Airbus A321LR from Frankfurt to Astana. Then we'll do a domestic flight on their low-cost subsidiary FlyArystan from Astana down to Almaty, and after that we'll head over to Seoul on another red-eye flight aboard their Boeing 767-300. And yes, we got those tickets for free from Astana, but don't let that fool you. Not everything about this journey was great, so let me take you along on the most thorough review possible about Astana's economy class product. Aviation geeks and frequent flyers, welcome to this new episode of our flight review series Brutally Honest. My name is David and we've just arrived at Frankfurt Airport, from where we'll take the overnight flight to Kazakhstan aboard Astana. The airline uses Terminal 2 at Frankfurt Airport, which is unusual for an airline that code-shares with Lufthansa. I went to the airport quite early to catch the arrival of our aircraft, and luckily Terminal 2 has a fantastic panorama terrace. Just head up to where the McDonald's is. Little fun fact, since the closing of McDonald's on Red Square in Moscow, this is now Europe's biggest McDonald's, and it has 2 fully equipped kitchens. I just find that interesting because my first ever job was when I was in high school and I worked at McDonald's because I wanted to work at Vienna Airport and they wouldn't give me an internship back then, so I just went with any job at the airport, so McDonald's it was. I won't lie, it was kind of fun working at an airport McDonald's, but I digress. The panorama terrace is accessible for free and offers a great view over runways 25 left and 25 center. Some of the planes around here we have some videos about coming up soon, including Condor's Airbus A330neo in both business and economy class, as well as Pegasus Airbus A320neo, an airline with a surprisingly great selection of hot meals offered on board. If you're curious about those 2 airlines and many more, make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Over there is our plane, Echo India Kilo Golf Charlie, a 2020 built Airbus A321neo. One of 15 in Astana's fleet, which means the type makes up roughly half of the airline's fleet of 32. Astana's network to Europe looks a bit strange at the moment because the airline is voluntarily not flying to or over Russia, which increases the flight time quite a bit. Their Frankfurt to Astana flight used to be around 5 hours long, but has since increased to over 6.5. To keep flying times, and thus cost reasonable, the airline chose to serve some of their European destinations from more western cities in Kazakhstan. Frankfurt and Istanbul are actually the only cities in Europe currently served from Astana, while Amsterdam is served from Atyrau and London Heathrow from Aktau. After a quick and easy check-in procedure, it's time to head to our gate. Astana code-shares with Lufthansa on Frankfurt to Kazakhstan flights, with Lufthansa serving the route to Almaty and Astana the one to Astana.
И также пассажиры Sleeper Class. От имени Airstana совместно с Lufthansa мы желаем вам приятного полета и до встречи во Франкфурте. Спасибо большое.
Astana's Airbus A321LRs have 16 lie-flat business class seats up front, featuring the newest generation Thomson Vantage seats, followed by 150 Recaro CL3710 economy class seats in the standard 3-3 configuration. Noteworthy is the addition of the so-called sleeper class between economy and business. It's the airline's attempt at creating a premium economy class without having to splurge on dedicated seats for it. Sleeper class means you get to sit in the front section of economy class, which is separated from the rest of the cabin with a curtain. You're guaranteed to get an entire row to yourself, plus a mattress cover and higher quality pillows and blankets. The ticket also comes with 2 pieces of checked luggage, business class lounge access, and some other perks. And I have to admit, it's pretty smart of Astana to use seats that would have otherwise stayed empty to generate extra revenue, because the size of the sleeper class can be adjusted based on how many passengers are booked on the flight. Each economy class seat comes with a headrest adjustable vertically on the sides, and those newer Recaro headrests can also be adjusted here for some neck support. Pillows are provided too, but unfortunately just with these scratchy single-use covers. Headphones are waiting for us too. Notably absent on this overnight flight is a blanket, which were only available upon request. Being 180 centimeters tall, the legroom is very good. And the seat also comes with a standard seatback pocket, a tray table which can be half opened or fully opened, a literature compartment up here, as well as an adjustable entertainment screen with a USB-A port and an audio port at the bottom. Beneath the seats, you'll find universal power outlets with another USB-A port, this one offering fast charging, with 2 power ports per each 3 seats. Also down here is a smaller hardware box for the entertainment system, which ever so slightly reduces the room for your feet if you're in a middle seat. Lastly, coat hooks are installed on the sides of the seat. With that, we're ready to get going.
Insert the metal end into the buckle and secure tightly. To unfasten, lift up the buckle cover.
Astana has a really cool new safety video. I highly recommend you check out the whole thing.
For those seats that are equipped with a shoulder harness in business class, please ensure that that strap is inserted into the metal buckle and shoulder strap. Thank you for your attention. We wish you a pleasant flight.
It's crazy how quiet those new A320 and A321neos are. On full power, they almost feel quieter than some older planes on idle. Before dinner is served, let's have a brief look at the plane's in-flight entertainment system. Astana went with the Saffron Rave system. They offer a decent selection of local and international movies and TV shows, as well as some music and a dedicated section for kids. Astana does not offer in-flight Wi-Fi. The LED mood lighting gives the entire plane a very cozy feeling, and works great with the grey seat covers. As a design geek, I have to say that Astana did a great job with their entire corporate identity, which feels very modern and cohesive throughout the entire journey, from their easy-to-use website to the colors and patterns you're in touch with as a customer from the airport to the plane. Another really cool thing is that Astana provides complimentary amenity kits even in economy class, and they offer different ones depending on whether you're flying to or from Kazakhstan, as you'll get to see later in the video. It comes with a toothbrush and toothpaste, some moisturizing cream, a pair of earplugs, slippers, a pen, and eye shades. These, by the way, are the blankets they're handing out after takeoff, and those are the headphones. We're starting off dinner service with a little hot towel, a very fancy touch, particularly for economy class. Before the main meal service, Astana offers a round of beverages and a little salty snack. Being the flag carrier of Kazakhstan, they're not skimping on the booze selection. I went with a can of beer and was handed this surprisingly big pack of goldfish with it. That's not the snack size I'm used to with other airlines, which often have like a dozen of something inside, not 50 grams. For the main dish, 3 different options were available, either vegetarian ravioli, beef with rice and green beans, or chicken with potato gratin, which is what I went with. And look at this meal. Damn, that actually looks amazing. Alongside the main dish, we've got a warm bread roll and some cheese. A great looking salad with cherry tomatoes and mozzarella, and a chocolate mousse for dessert. In addition to another beverage of your choice, we've also got real metal cutlery, which isn't all that common in economy class. All in all, that's honestly an amazing meal service. 3 choices, high quality sides, and that the bread roll was warm, and we've got a fresh salad with tomatoes and mozzarella. For a 6.5-hour flight, I'm very impressed. No wonder the airline wanted to provide me a free ticket. So far, they've got an onboard product worth being proud of. Some of the newer A321s have the option to install lavatories all the way in the back, and thus trading galley space for lavs and lav space for more seats, as I've shown in a recent video about Icelandic low-cost carrier Play. Astana, though, needs a full galley for those services, so they have the standard lavatories in the back, and not just 2 but 3, so they're surprisingly generous here as well. Other than that, the lavatories are fairly standard, modern but standard. They come with baby changing tables though. After the meal service, tea and coffee were offered as the cabin lights were dimmed for the night. Around an hour before landing, another snack and beverage service was offered, with a variety of beverages available in addition to those warm ham and cheese croissants, but dinner was just like 3 hours ago. I'm definitely not hungry right now. With that, the first of 3 flights in this video is coming to an end, but don't leave just yet. We still have a new airline coming, Kazakh low-cost carrier FlyArystan, spending a day in gorgeous Almaty and another flight to Seoul aboard Astana 767, which includes the low point of this journey, the absolute mess that is Almaty Airport, so stick with us.
Astana қаласынан Nursultan Nazarbayev халықаралық әуежайына қош келдіңіздер. Сіздер қауіпсіздігіңіз үшін белдікті бекітіңіз деген табло сөмкенше орындарыңызда отыруларыңызды өтінеміз. Жүк сүретін
Thank you.
Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
До свидания.
Thank you. In Astana, we're quickly through passport control and got our bag, so we're off to the domestic terminal to check in for our flight to Almaty. Astana is also very generous when it comes to their domestic service, so the airline established low-cost carrier FlyArystan back in 2019 to offer a cheaper alternative for people to get around the world's 9th biggest country by size. Check-in and security were fairly quick, so we're already off to Almaty, which is a roughly 90-minute flight from Astana. FlyArystan currently operates a fleet of 18 Airbus A320s fitted with up to 188 seats, so still not the worst that's possible, but close. The cabin features the more basic and most importantly slimmer Recaro BL3530 seats, which can also be found on lots of Lufthansa's short-haul aircraft. Being 180 centimeters tall, the legroom is bearable, and these newer Recaro seats made for low-cost carriers come with extra slim armrests to offer you a tad more seat width.
Allow best use of space for all items. Please note, all FlyArystan flights are non-smoking. Thank you for your understanding.
After getting de-iced here in freezing Astana, it was off to Almaty. In-flight service is only available in exchange for money, with a variety of sandwiches, wraps, coffee and tea, cup noodles, other snacks, as well as alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages being offered. The airline also offers hot meals to be pre-ordered on select routes, as well as a bit of merch. There's supposed to be a stream-to-your-device entertainment system, but it's either only available on their newer A321neos, not the older standard A320s we're flying aboard, or it simply didn't work on this flight. With that, welcome to Almaty, where we'll have until 1 AM tonight for our last flight, the 5-hour journey to Seoul. I've been to Kazakhstan before, and I honestly think it's one of the most underrated countries to travel to. I had one of the best borscht I've ever tried for lunch here, and some excellent cabbage rolls, and a delicious coffee overlooking Almaty's Green Bazaar. Well, and that's where the worst part of this entire journey began, having to depart from Almaty Airport. I cannot begin to express how unpleasant this airport was. I'm genuinely considering this the worst airport I have ever been to, so let's begin by getting there, because that's already really bad. The airport isn't actually that far away from the city center, but it's surprisingly hard to get there. The city does have a subway, but it doesn't go anywhere near the airport, so our only choice is to go by bus, which at least is very cheap. But all of the bus lines end, for some reason, like a kilometer away from the terminal, so you'll have to walk all the way to the entrance and then across the entire parking lot to get to the terminal. So we could have also splurged on a taxi, right? Well, look at that traffic jam to even get through the airport gate, let alone up onto the ramp of the terminal. You easily need half an hour or more to get through this jam, and I saw lots of taxis dropping people off at the bus stop because the drivers couldn't be bothered to wait to get through this jam. And you know what this leads to? What I've experienced leaving the airport before. There are no taxis there, and no signage about this bus. I have never had such troubles leaving an airport before. I was just standing there contemplating about what to do this morning until after an hour of not finding a solution, simply going with one of those scammy old dudes walking up to foreigners in the departure hall saying, "You need a taxi?" And even now, there are so many people waiting for their pickups and the traffic is moving so slowly. But once you're in the terminal, it doesn't get better. It was built in 2004, and you can tell it's 20 years old already. It's way too small for the amount of passengers here. It's so full, there are so many people here. The Wi-Fi, by the way, doesn't work. You need to put in a phone number, and when I put in my European phone number, it didn't send a text message with a PIN code to log in, and there was no other option. It was also unbearably hot in this terminal. It must have easily been 25 degrees in here, likely approaching 30. My saving grace was when I realized this one restaurant had an outdoor terrace, so at least I could breathe. But with the airport being so busy, the restaurant was sold out of plenty of dishes, and again, no Wi-Fi. With it being so busy landside, I figured airside would get better, and oh how wrong I was. It was so much worse after security because now you're truly trapped. There was hardly a free seat anywhere, it was even hotter back here for some reason, a lot of vending machines were running out of things, and once you were in your gate area after the ticket control, you were trapped in this white room waiting for the bus, which luckily wasn't more than half an hour. Oh my god, if you ever depart from Almaty Airport, here are some tips. Take the bus and just walk. Or if you take a cab, get out and walk the last kilometer, it's faster than waiting for traffic. If you arrive here, get out of the airport area and walk along the big road to the bus stop, much easier and faster than waiting for a cab or ride-hail driver to come to the terminal. Also, try to spend as little time in the terminal as possible. Luckily, passport and security were efficient and quick, so the basic airport services at least work. And my goal at Simply Aviation is always to have fair and balanced reviews, so I also want to mention a big terminal expansion is currently under construction. They seem to be trying their best because I was there on a Sunday night at 10 PM and there was work going on there, so they're trying to get it done quickly and it seems like they're quite far along already. Until then though, Almaty Airport, please just turn down the heat and fix the Wi-Fi. Those two things would already improve things quite a lot because at least you could breathe better and get some distraction by staring into your phone until boarding comes. Anyway, we finally made it aboard our ride to Seoul. Echo India, Kilo Echo Charlie, a 2014 built Boeing 767-300. This is a very, very special Boeing 767 because it is the last passenger 767 ever built. The first Boeing 787 Dreamliner was delivered in 2011, so this 2014 built Boeing 767 is younger than quite a few Dreamliners. And you can tell by the cabin, which features LED mood lighting and fairly modern seats. Up front, the Boeing 767 is equipped with older Thomson Vantage seats, and in the back with Weber 5751 seats. Once again, each seat features an adjustable headrest, but this time only adjustable vertically and on the sides. And waiting for us already were a bottle of water, the amenity kit, and another pair of headphones, and a pillow. Being 180 centimeters tall, the legroom is good and roughly the same as on the A321LR. The seats also came with seatback pockets, this time a standard tray table, as well as a coat hook and an entertainment screen with a USB-A port and the audio port on the side. The seats offer standard recline and removable armrests, and in the ceiling above you'll find personal reading lights, but no air vents. For entertainment, the plane boasts a slightly older Saffron Rave system with a tad smaller screens, but the same hardware, making it virtually indistinguishable from the one aboard the A321. Now it's time for our third and last flight of this journey. Right after takeoff, the crew once again handed out hot towels to begin breakfast service. Blankets were also offered to those who wanted some. And yeah, you just heard me right, breakfast service, on a flight that departs at 1:15 in the morning. I mean, yeah, technically it's morning, but like, barely? Air Astana offered 3 choices again, either porridge, an omelette, or this mushroom and chicken pie. It was accompanied by a warm bread roll and some cheese, a cup of fresh fruit, as well as a candy bar. Albeit a bit dry, the savory pie was delicious, and I'm once again very happy Air Astana offered a complimentary meal service on this flight with 3 different options available. However, I would have not served the meal right after takeoff. I've been on a variety of overnight flights, and at least to me, the best way I've seen airlines handle things is to only offer a small snack or even just a beverage service after takeoff and let people sleep and then serve the big meal before landing. British Airways did this on my Dubai to London flight, and I've also experienced similar on Lufthansa, ANA, and Air China. What neither of those airlines offer, though, is an amenity kit. As mentioned, this one is different compared to the first one, but only on the outside. The contents were the same. After getting a couple of hours of sleep, it was time to start our descent into Seoul. 2 flights on Air Astana and 1 aboard their subsidiary FlyArystan. I have to say, the airline is really trying hard to be good, and that in itself is unexpected. Most countries, like Kazakhstan, rely on their flag carrier to provide the majority of the country's international and domestic connections. This means the airline's main purpose isn't to be great compared to others, it's simply to get people from A to B. You can see this in countless nations around the globe, from Central Asia, Africa to South America and Europe. There are so many flag carriers that are just nothing noteworthy about them because they don't have to have something good about them. They're the only choice. Air Astana is the exception though. The airline is good for, I guess, no apparent reason. They have very little competition, neither domestically nor internationally. They could cut a lot from their service, but they choose not to, and I think that's commendable. It makes flying in and out of Kazakhstan very enjoyable, and I'm already very excited to see if this also applies to their business class. What remains are a few things that stand in the way from the airline becoming a major player internationally. First and foremost, it's Kazakh airports. And I don't just mean that Almaty Airport is bad right now, much more that the airline doesn't have a single hub. Astana isn't as big as Almaty, but politically the center of the country and needs to be connected. Meanwhile, Almaty is where the biggest demand for flights is. This forces the airline to have 2 hubs, and for its size, that's too much. The airline loses a lot of potential international connections in a region that could really use some more airlines getting you there. Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, they're all somewhat connected to the world, but not really, with few connections possible because none of those airlines are part of any alliances and have few partners. Meanwhile, Almaty is smacked in the middle of all of those countries. Air Astana could easily establish a major hub if they had the possibility to focus on just Almaty. However, the airline does not appear to be focused on growth at all, with only very few planes on order. And in my head, that all doesn't make sense. They don't have to be good, they just are. They're not looking to grow, but they could. They're just there. So should you fly to Kazakhstan, they're certainly a great choice, and if you come across one of the few connecting itineraries which are possible with this dual hub system, the airline is also a solid option. With that, welcome to Seoul, thank you very much for watching and coming along. I hope you've enjoyed this very long and thorough review. If you're still here all the way at the end of this video, you have my greatest respect. Special thanks to all those of you who support us with a paid channel membership. Thanks to you, we can continue to expand the number of airlines covered on our channel and improve our video quality. And since we want to spend the money you so generously contribute responsibly, we do accept free tickets like on today's trip when the conditions are ripe. As a thank you for your contributions, the video about Air Astana's business class is already available for you to watch right now. It will be published for everyone else next month, and when that day comes, be linked right here on the screen now. If it's not out yet, why not take a look at this video about South Korean airline Asiana and their fantastic long-haul economy class. Whether you are a channel sponsor, a subscriber, or simply stopping by for this one video, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again for a new video next week, and until then, safe travels.